25-year-old here. I had one serious relationship in my lifetime and have been on one date since that ended nearly 5 years ago. I get close to zero matches in online dating. I don't like going to bars, so it's hard to find someone. I thought I was getting on well with someone last month until they just completely stopped responding. It's draining. How do you guys even meet your partners? I've been told I'm good looking, I'm decently successful, and I'm very understanding. I don't get it. It just seems to be getting worse. Story 1. I dated before online dating, got married, had kids, and then unfortunately got divorced. When I divorced, it was 15 years later, and online dating was a thing. Online dating is frustrating, requires a lot of work, can be really disappointing, but it can be somewhat fun. I mostly just had random hookups. However, I met my girlfriend, fiancée on Bumble. We matched, she messaged right away, and we've been together ever since. The funny thing is, I was logging in to close my account out of frustration. If we ever split, I probably wouldn't date anymore. Story 2. I'm 34, and the last time I was single, about 2 to 3 years ago, I was really focusing on myself and meeting people on a friendship level. I wasn't waiting to be invited to do things. I was doing things I wanted to do and inviting people. Eventually, this girl I was friends with and I started to click and hung out a lot. She actually asked if we could do something just the two of us and not with the friend group we had. We've been together for over 2 years now. I think too much emphasis is put on dating apps and securing the dating intention as soon as you introduce yourself. Meet people and make connections, and eventually you'll find the girl who always wants to be around. Story 3. It is tough for most. I have a girlfriend currently and had decent success dating in a major United States city. Way less success in other areas of the country. Just an anecdote. 3 of my girlfriend's friends said they were going on first dates with guys but had no intention of dating, sex, or romance. I asked why, and it was so that they could go out on a date as practice. It would be disappointing to be a guy meeting a lady on a first date who had no actual interest in anything beyond dinner. That's like going to a job interview for a position that no longer exists. I think their method of following up with the guy was ghosting. Read the room, guys. Only invest in a potential partner who shows genuine interest. Story 4. From my experience talking and dating women, there is a lot of paradox of choice and what-if mindset. Add to that this whole superficial ick thing I hear about. Story 5. Dating apps and social media are trash. However, now that everyone uses them, that cute woman at the coffee shop you're interested in has not been approached in real life in years. Just make small conversation, and it's surprisingly easy to connect. I'm in my 40s, and before this mess, it wasn't any easier, just different. Also, my tolerance for disrespect has dropped a lot. If a phone is out on a date, I politely excuse myself. Keep in mind, half the adult population is female. Don't limit yourself to the same 6 women from Tinder. Story 6. 28-year-old male. My last relationship ended in 2019. We are almost halfway through the decade, and I cannot imagine anything I'd rather do less than head out and spend time and money trying to impress a stranger. Story 7. Modern dating is a complete joke. I do not even bother. I have been in 2 serious relationships in my adult life. I am 38 right now and will be 39 this year. Between the crazy people out there, the ideologically bankrupt, and the massive number of people with completely unrealistic expectations, I am more likely to be hit by lightning 4 times in the same day than I am to find someone worth the time and effort it takes to properly vet them to date. I would much rather stick my wet backside to a pole in Antarctica than go through the minefield that dating has become. I remember someone said, "Would you date a person for $1 million?" And my answer to that is, no. You could not pay me enough to put up with the drama they are likely to bring into my life. Story 8. Online dating has ruined dating, so I tend not to bother. Can't be bothered to act like a dancing monkey for a woman, trying to impress her when she has another 100 trying the same thing. Story 9. My take is that it sucks, but also that it's always sucked. The difference is that now, instead of hearing how much it sucks from your limited circle of friends who are not in a relationship, you are hearing it from social media and think it's worse than it has ever been. Story 10. Been thrust into modern dating as a 33-year-old man after being in a relationship so long smartphones weren't even invented when we got together. Honestly, it's tiring. Talking to 99 out of 100 people provides no stimulation or joy. I have no desire to play the game to try and be able to have them grace my presence. It's honestly one of the most depressing things I have ever encountered, and I've quickly learned why a lot of the attractive people are chronically single. Because most have absolutely nothing about them. Story 11. Most people are too self-obsessed or egocentric to be dateable these days, it seems. The last several women I've tried to get to know, while all varying and different, had one critical flaw in common. They were all only concerned with what they wanted in a good partner and not at all with what they needed to do to be a good partner. Story 12. I think it goes for both sides to some degree regarding the problems in the dating world. It's not all women. A lot of my friends have girlfriends or wives who are perfect for them. However, that's something that might be dying out in the next couple of years. They say women are the gatekeepers of sex. I think they're pretty much the gatekeepers of dating at this point. It's so much easier for a lot of women to play dumb and play games rather than take accountability. I think this is how people like Andrew Tate have been able to capitalize on the idea of alphas, betas, and hypergamy. I don't agree with that nonsense at all. But the women who are complaining about Andrew Tate are the same ones who are giving him ammunition to use. There are two types of guys out there. Guys who have been around girl talks and guys who haven't. They can get pretty brutal and demoralizing. I can't count the number of times I've heard girls say, "He's an asshole and he's mean to me, but he's got a big ego." If you've ever been in a fraternity or been to a college party, you'd be even more demoralized. The number of girls I've seen just outright cheat on their boyfriends with the most stereotypical fraternity guy ever is insane. Everybody thinks they're so important that they can date people like they're on a reality show. There's a whole thing about girls having rosters. Then, when you find out your girlfriend was with another guy after she got home from your past 7 dates, you're the villain because technically we weren't exclusive, so it wasn't against the rules for me to be with that guy after our dates. It all gets misconstrued, and you get told, well, you're not entitled to intimacy. It's her body. Like, yes, I agree with that, but that's not the point. The point is that people have feelings that can be hurt when you do things like rely on technicalities as a weak attempt to tell someone they can't be upset about something. It's hard to be a good judge of character nowadays. You can be crawling into bed with someone you think is your future wife. Meanwhile, when she's getting up to go pee, she's actually sending messages to some guy who sent her an emoji and probably writes like a child. Women can be absolutely ruthless, and no man wants to be the fool who's bringing flowers to her door after her friend just left. Once again, it's not all women by any means, but the fact that crazy stuff happens means there's a chance it can happen to you if you choose to participate in the dating world. I've never had a hookup or a one-night stand, but I have had 3 girlfriends. I have gotten nothing but pain, hardcore trust issues, and lessons learned from being the respectful, loyal boyfriend. I refuse to put myself in those situations again. I don't have it in me to be a jerk to women or be the affair partner to anybody, but I would much rather be the guy who can tell a girl to come over at 2 a.m. rather than the guy whose girl is leaving to go help a friend at 2 a.m. Dating would ideally be a natural thing, and so many people nowadays are treating it as if it's a job hunt. Story 13. Because women have high standards and checklists, and if you don't meet all the criteria, they may ignore or eliminate you from their lives. It's exhausting, stressful, and not worth it. Why should I even bother? If it's a numbers game, I don't want to be a part of it. I work too hard to play the lottery in finding love. The applications have ruined it all. Story 14. I started dating in the early 1990s. Many things have changed through the years, some for the better and some for the worse. The dating pool has become huge. It used to be the local place where you lived and worked. The people you could date were people you interacted with in real life, and that was limited in itself. Take away people in relationships, the unpredictable ones, and the ones who have not moved on from a breakup, and the options were pretty limited. So you settled for less. You lowered your standards. You could easily get desperate. But so did the ones who dated you. They settled for less. They lowered their standards, and they could also get desperate. So you could actually get away with much and did not have to put much effort into it. Today, the pool is huge, almost unlimited. And because people have so many options, you cannot get away with things so easily. So it clearly favors those who make an effort. For those who make an effort, who work on their social skills and work on themselves, dating can be very easy. For those who do not, it's cruel. As it turns out, most do not want to put in the effort and expect they will have success with dating because they deserve it or there is the one waiting for them. More and more people ignore the importance of social skills. Not only will these people not have any success, but they are also making it easier for the ones who make an effort because, in the end, dating is a competition. You see it time and time again. It's the same few people who have all the success in dating, and the large majority thinks it is unfavorable. Story 15. It is a massive dumpster full of dumpsters full of tiny dumpsters. The tiny dumpsters are full of effluent and biomedical waste. They are all on fire. Needless to say, I have ducked out of the dating scene for a spell. Story 16. I met my wife at a cat shelter. I had recently left Alcoholics Anonymous after 2 years sober and was looking for a volunteer opportunity to keep up the service portion of my sobriety. I like cats, so I thought it might be a good fit. She was the volunteer coordinator, and the first moment I saw her, I was interested in her. We became friends and spent time together regularly, but she clearly wasn't interested for about a year. After a while, something changed for her. There was a large brush fire that led to me evacuating my cabin, and she offered for me to sleep on her couch for a few days. During that time, we spent more time together as friends and got to know each other a little more intimately. Not a euphemism. Shortly after, I asked her out for a proper date. She said yes. It slowly grew. We've been together since 2009, married in 2016, and have a 4-year-old now. Pretty happy. And yes, we've had 4 cats together over the years. We both believe in service to others, making positive change in the world, and we love animals, specifically cats, enough to sacrifice our Saturday mornings to take care of them. As we got to know each other, we found more and more similarities and complementary qualities, such as a love of sarcasm and dark humor. I talk to a lot of people about their personal lives as part of my job, and the dating scene out there sounds pretty rough. I don't know what I'd do if I had to go back out there. I subscribe to the general life practice of finding what's important to you, following your own path, doing your best to be yourself, and what's for you will find you. If you want to meet people like you, go places where someone like you is likely to be. Do the things that someone like you is likely to be doing. Complementary values and interests go a long way, and don't be a control freak about it. Let the universe or God or whatever have a hand in it. Coincidences and synchronicities, locking eyes across a crowded room, chance encounters, attractions that seem like they'd never work. Consider those as possible opportunities. That is all. Story 17. Dating seems very rough in the current climate, but I also think that we should focus less on it and build our lives. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion, I don't know. I just feel like joining a community, cultivating a solid group of friends, both men and women, engaging in hobbies, and living a fulfilling life would be much more beneficial to us than getting a girlfriend. A girlfriend is nice, don't get me wrong, but I think too many people believe it's a prerequisite to a fulfilling life. Story 18. The attention women receive from online dating warps their minds, and they have zero concept of reality. I am all for women not having to deal with unpleasant men, but they seem to think all men that aren't unpleasant make 6 figures and are 6 feet 3 inches tall. I wouldn't want to be in my early 20s today. Just give up on dating until you're much more established in your life. Story 19. I get likes from people I'm not interested in, and anyone I'm interested in is too far away. I'm going to buy a motorcycle, name her Matilda, and waltz all over the place to see if I can find women in the wild. Story 20. Gen X here. I can't believe Tinder exists and buffet is even a thing. I mean, body counts can be impressive, but diseases and not knowing the name of the person you're with are not. Or does that not count as dating? Maybe a poll would yield interesting perspectives on what Tinder and acquaintance fucking are. Story 21. So many people are looking to find the one, as in someone to be airdropped. Not so many people are into building a relationship with a good person with whom they have chemistry. Story 22. Honestly, a bit tired with it all. I am a 23-year-old male, And I have been in 3 serious relationships, all at university, and I think it's gotten even worse since COVID-19. As quite a few here have mentioned, nobody seems to have a clue how to date or has any interest in dating. I also hate the dating app culture but feel as though you're limiting yourself if you don't try it. Story 23. Had a connection over the weekend. Sat next to her on comedy night at a bar last night. She was beautiful, showed very clear interest, bought me a drink, and asked what I was doing for the night. Only in town one day as a stop on her trip. The girl was mild, very mature, with a classy way about her. Then she immediately let me come to her place and wanted to be intimate. Well, she experienced the equivalent of erectile dysfunction because she didn't know me. She told me she never does this, got out of an abusive relationship and has a son. Lots of discreet tattoos that told me a lot about who she is. Not in a bad way, just a little bit sad and perhaps lost. No connection to anyone, no close people in her life at all. We only had 5 minutes of penetration, no climax for either of us. Then we just connected in conversation, exchanged no contact information, and she's now on her way. I also have no connections. I isolate a good bit. I'm a good-looking guy, so I get interested in women, but that just means I've gotten to see the state of a lot of modern women more in depth. I'm damaged. This girl was damaged. All my previous exes were extremely damaged. We're all affected by the way society has become due to wicked new norms, pornography, corrupt governments and religions, and a complete lack of moral authority in anyone's life to have virtue. So all that is to say it's going to be a long road to find someone right, and the most important thing any of us can do as men is to be the best man we can be. Not the jerk, but strong. Not the nice guy, but graceful. Get physically fit, make new hobbies, travel, learn some languages. These are the things that make life so enjoyable you won't feel the need to be in a relationship. And that's really when we are ready for one. Casual hookup culture is just bad. It's beyond damaging to women, whether they're the type that sees it or not. I've seen it in 100% of my experiences. Most girls that have hooked up with me either lack self-awareness and had negative attitudes about life, or they could see their damage and it was clear they were intent on a relationship just based on a one-night stand. I don't think anyone here talking about Andrew Tate or any of that stuff is as widespread as people think. There are still good people out there who don't even use social media. Just be prepared for an insane amount of damaged people.